What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of ENA We Got Time. As always, I'm your host, Alex, here to give you my prediction video on Week 10. If you don't know, go ahead and subscribe, like the video, comment under this video down below the teams you got winning this week. Also, your total score for a game. First game, we're going to talk about Seahawks at Bucks. Let's say you got Seahawks 20, Bucks 10. You would do Seahawks 30. And that way, what we do each week is we do a free giveaway to subscribe who comments and gets the most right. So go ahead and give your total score if you're interested. That way there's no tie and there's no confusion. So that being said, let's get into it. Seahawks at Bucks. First game in Germany for the NFL. I think this will be a good one. For the Seahawks, the safety Blunt, he is questionable. Godwin's questionable. And defensive end Taylor's questionable. For the Bucks, we have Cameron Brate questionable, Russell Gage is questionable, and Winfield is questionable. I like this matchup. I think this is going to be good. I'm going to wake up early for this. The Seahawks are rolling. The Bucks, they got a win last week, but it really, I still don't think the Bucks really can generate enough offense to what the Seahawks are doing. So for that reason, I have the Seahawks winning this game 27-14. That's what I'm going with. Next up, we have Texans at Giants. My team, Giants, we're coming off a bye. But the Texans, they have the wide receiver Cooks. He's questionable. At first, I thought he was just questionable the last couple of weeks before the trade deadline because they wanted to trade him. But I'm not exactly too sure what's up with him. But he's questionable. Wide receiver Collins, he's also questionable. So we'll see about that. For the Giants, as most of you already know, Xavier McKinney is out with a hand injury. He might miss a large portion, if not the entire season. On the bye week, he went on vacation, got into an accident. Prayers up to him, speedy recovery. That's all I really got to say about that. But the cornerback Flock, he's questionable. Zimenez is also questionable. And Galladay is questionable, but he should come back from the last report I saw. I'm recording this on Tuesday, so bear with me on the injury reports I'm giving you guys. But I have the Giants winning this game. I think we come back. We will be a little bit more healthy. And I like that. I like that Galladay is going to be back. Hopefully we can get things going. Texans have a really nice run game, but I think we should be able to pull off this win at home. I got the Giants winning this game 23-17. Next, we have Vikings at Bills. For the Vikings, Irv Smith is on IR now, as most of you already know. Dantzler, I hope I'm saying his name right. He has an ankle injury. Last report I saw is going to be a long shot. And David Tomlinson, former Giant, he's also questionable. There's a lot of speculation going around right now about Josh Allen and his elbow injury, whether or not he's going to have surgery, if he's going to miss time. If not, I think regardless, even if he plays, I don't think he'll be slinging the ball as much. I know a lot of people are like, he threw like a 40, 50-yard bomb after the injury that most people are saying the play happened on. But, you know, adrenaline does play a factor in a lot of these games. A lot of guys can get injured, and they can play a series more or a play more until they actually have to come out. So he's questionable. White, the cornerback, is day-to-day. He should come back for this game. The lineman Brown is questionable, and Poyer, the safety, is questionable. I got the Vikings in this game, and just for the simple fact, I really think this injury is going to hinder Josh Allen. And not necessarily to say he doesn't play, but I think his play style isn't going to be the same. Also, the fact that the Bills haven't consistently had a good running game, I think that's going to hinder them as well. So I'm taking the Vikings in this game, even though it's at Bills. I got the Vikings 30-21. Next, we got Lions at Bears. For the Lions, Josh Reynolds questionable and Nelson is questionable. For the Bears, the cornerback Vildor, I hope I'm saying his name right, he's questionable with the ankle, and the lineman Carter, he's questionable for the Bears. I'm taking the Bears in this one. I like the addition of Claypool. I think another week in this system, I think that's only going to help. The Lions, they did get a win last week But I think the Bears, they're kind of getting their momentum. I know they just lost to the Dolphins, but I'm taking the Bears at home. I got the Bears 23-17. Next, we have Broncos at Titans. Cam Fleming, the lineman, is questionable with a quad. And Browning, the linebacker, who's really shocked a lot of people. He's had a good stretch of games the last couple of weeks. He's questionable. For the Titans, Dupree, he's questionable with a hip. The safety Hooker, he's questionable. And Tannehill with the ankle is questionable. I do think Malik Willis had a really good game last week, to be completely honest with you, for the amount of reps he's probably gotten with the first team so far this year to be thrown out there. I know they have some injuries and the wide receiver group. I know Traylon Burks hasn't been much help, as much help as they thought he would be. And he was their first or second round pick, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm taking the Broncos in this game. I'm taking the Broncos 2017. That's how I'm calling it. Next, we have Jags at Chiefs. Not too many significant injuries that I saw. Jenkins for the Jags is questionable with a concussion, and the backup tight end for the Chiefs, Fortson, is questionable. Not exactly too sure with, but I think both of these players will play regardless. The Chiefs have just found ways to win games, and I think them play back at home, the stretch they've been on, the way they have been able to find wins, and the Jaguars haven't exactly put together enough wins for me to take them, especially with this being at the Chiefs. So I got the Chiefs win this game 33-20. But I do have Travis Etienne having somewhat of a good game. I think he'll put up some nice numbers. Next, we have Browns at Dolphins. For the Browns, Ward is questionable, Njoku's questionable, and Teller's also questionable. Three guys who play a pretty solid role on this team. The Dolphins don't have any significant injuries of anybody who's out that's not already on IR. So for that reason, Tua's playing some really, really good football. I know Tyreek, a lot of people are trying to put him in MVP discussion. He is on pace to have, I want to say, like over 2,000 yards, which is insane when you think about it. Him and Waddle have almost a 2,000 combined yards for the season, which is literally insane. And I don't think the Browns defensively are ready to put up with what the Dolphins have, but I do have it being respectful. I have the Dolphins winning 27-20. Next, we have Saints at Steelers. For the Saints, Davenport is questionable with a calf. The center McCoy is questionable. Ingram, the running back, is questionable. Lattimore, the corner, is questionable, and Landry is also questionable with an ankle. I do predict some of these guys do come back, like Landry. I'm not too sure about Lattimore. I know he had a pretty serious injury. Landry was supposed to come back last week against the Ravens, but he did not. Ingram should be back, hopefully. For the Steelers, Jackson is questionable. TJ Watt, it should be back this week, so I know a lot of people are happy about that. And Miles Jack is questionable with the knee. I'm taking the Steelers. I'm really taking the Steelers. I think if TJ Watt comes back and he really he comes back and he's a semblance of what he was prior to the injury, to me he's probably had the best or one of the best games for a defensive player this year. The game against the Bengals, several sacks, several tackles for loss. I want to see he had a fumble and an interception. Just incredible. So, and if the Saints don't get some of these guys back, I don't see them winning. I have the Steelers winning this game 23-20. It's going to be a very close ball game regardless of who wins, but I'm going to give the nod to the Steelers. Next, we have Colts at Raiders. Woods is questionable with a shoulder. Brown is questionable, and Jonathan Taylor is also questionable for the Colts. For the Raiders, Waller is still questionable. He's day-to-day, still not too sure when he's going to come back. And as we all, if you haven't noticed, Jonathan Abram, I think his name, the safety, he was released as of today, Tuesday. But I don't know what the Colts are doing. with the hire. I understand he was a prominent figure when he played there. I know he's a very likable person with the Just Saturday hire, but I'm picking against the Colts until further notice. I know I said I was off the Raiders in prior episodes, but I'm taking the Raiders 21-10. I have no faith in what the Colts are doing. Like I said, until they start showing me signs of life. There was a press conference. They don't even know who's calling the plays until this video will have dropped, and some of y'all will already have put y'all picks in before they even know who's calling plays. So that's all I got to say about that. I got the Raiders 21-10. Next, we have the Cowboys at Packers. For the Cowboys, Noah Brown is questionable and Zeke is questionable. Both of them more than likely will play. Now for the Packers, Romeo Doubs is out with an ankle 4 to 6 weeks. Christian Watson is questionable with a chest. I know some people thought it was a concussion possibly or a head injury. It was a chest injury, confirmed, hopefully. Hopefully he comes back. And the linebacker Campbell, he's also questionable. The Cowboys are playing really good football. Micah Parsons, he's kind of just been floating. He's not having a really huge midseason, but I think he can get back on his Defensive Player of the Year campaign, starting with this game right here. And, you know, Dak, they taking great care of the football. They having Tony Pollard in there, great change of pace running back to go along with Zeke. And to be honest, the Packers on offense really don't look good at all, just to be frank with it. So yeah, I got the Cowboys winning 24-20. They are still playing in Green Bay. I know that may not mean much, but I think they keep it close. So I'm taking the I'm taking the Cowboys 24-20. Next, we have Cardinals at Rams. For the Cardinals, Budda Baker, he's questionable with an ankle. Well, no, Budda Baker is going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks with an ankle. Excuse me. Lyman Garcia is questionable, and the linebacker Dennis Gardeck is also questionable. And the Rams don't have any significant injuries so far from guys who already are on the injured reserve or already out. The Rams, they're just really not able to put this thing together. They're a really top-heavy team. There's not a lot of depth. I know Cooper Kupp's gonna get the ball, but I can't. It's a divisional game, and they are playing in LA, but I'm taking the Cardinals 2017 until the Rams, once again, another team, until the Rams can start showing me some better things. I'm probably going to pick against them for the foreseeable future. Next, we have Chargers at 49ers. Pipkins, the lineman, is questionable with a knee for the Chargers. Keenan Allen's also questionable, and Tiller, the defensive tackle, is also questionable for the Chargers. For the 49ers, Greenlaw, the linebacker, is questionable. Juszczyk, the fullback, he's questionable. Debo's questionable, and Verrett, the cornerback, is questionable. I believe Debo will be back this week. Juszczyk will be back this week, and I think Greenlaw will be back this week, and also Verrett. I think all of these guys come back. I just think if anything, they'll be day-to-day. That's just how I think. The 49ers are playing at home. They'll finally have their full onslaught of weapons on offense. The Chargers, not too sure. But I'm taking the 49ers 28-17 and a win in quite dominating fashion. And last but not least, on Monday night, we got the Commanders at Eagles. Divisional game. Dotson is questionable for the Commanders. Lacombe, I hope I'm saying his name right, is also questionable. The linebacker, and McKissick, the running back, he's also questionable. For the Eagles, the only guy on the injury report, like I said previously, that's not out already on the IR is Scott, the corner. The Eagles are playing some good football. I know some people are a little nervous about the game that they had last week with Houston, but Houston can run the ball. Pierce is a really good running back. I think he's going to be good for a while. The Commanders' run game is nothing like Houston's. I think Houston has a better run game than the Commanders, just at this moment in time. And I think with the Eagles playing the Commanders twice a year, they will game plan better for the Commanders because they have to play them year in and year out. And Taylor Heineke, I know everybody, is really excited about Taylor Heineke. He's winning ball games, but That touchdown he threw last week where the ref got in the way, that's not happening in Philly or on the Philadelphia Eagles. That's going to be an interception. So, the last game of the week, I got the Eagles winning 24-14. Taylor Heineke, he's gonna go out there and he's gonna try his hardest, but I just don't think it's gonna be enough to beat the Eagles. So that's how I got it, y'all. This week 10, I appreciate y'all for all the support. Subscribe, comment, like, and we out. Peace.
Here, make it off at your
Pittsburgh.